Now, look, this is a matchup, man. Like I said in my other previous recording, if you're Miami, you got to get your get back. You got to get your get back, bro. You got to atone for 2003 going up against Ohio State. And the best way to atone is to come in here and pull off an upset. Everybody believes outside of Indiana, Ohio State is the team. Ohio State is the team to beat, right? And this is a really good team when you look at top to bottom. Head coach, defense, offense, special teams. This team is loaded. This team is deep. So how do you go and you beat them in this Cotton Bowl Classic? It's simple for Miami. You got to get out to a good start. You're gonna have to steal some possessions from Ohio State, right? You're gonna have to be able to get a turnover or two. You're gonna have to essentially rattle a Julian Sand who's been performing at a Heisman Kennedy worthy level this season. 31 touchdowns that you guys can see, 30, 3,323 yards. He's been phenomenal. He's been a stud. He's been him. And how you slow him down is their front four got to get home, right? The Akeem Messendors, who had 8.5 sacks, the Reuben Baines, they did it against Marshall Reed. They basically went in there in Texas A&M and they baffled him to a degree a little bit, right? They made it tough for him to see reads and throws. They muddied up the coverage. These are things you're going to have to do for Miami if you're going to have a chance. And you're going to have a plan because you can't just sell out to try to stop the pass. You're going to have a plan to slow down Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's been having a phenomenal season this year for the Ohio State Buckeyes. 1,035 yards and he has 5 touchdowns. And he just getting started, a true freshman. So if you're Miami, that's the game plan. Batter and bruise, get there with your front four against Julian Sand, and then you're gonna have to slow down that running game with a Bo Jackson. But I do think if you're Miami, right, there's a little bit to get back there too in terms of Jeremiah Smith because you were, when Cristobal came in, you had obviously that 5-7 year, but he turned it around pretty quick. You go 7-6, then last year we went 10-3, and then this year obviously with the 11 wins, right? So when you compare two programs, Ohio State has looked better since that point when they played in the national championship in '03, right? And Miami's has kind of been on this, I won't say a nosedive, but not to the level that we know the Hurricanes to be. And if you want to get back to that level, you picking up big time wins like this against a number 2 team in the country. And again, it ain't gonna be easy. You're gonna have a plan for Jeremiah Smith. You're gonna have to be able to cover him and not allow him to beat you over the top. I like the cornerbacks from Miami, Jacoby Ward, who's a DB for them. Bryce Fitzgerald's having a phenomenal year. He had 2 interceptions in the game against Texas A&M. So they're going to have to play sticky coverage and make it tough because if Jeremiah Smith's going off early in this game, it could be a long day. But they have more than just Jeremiah Smith. They got Cardinal Tate as well. That kid is a baller too. So Miami defensively has their work cut out for them. The best way to go about it and to be able to kind of overcome that is, like I said, getting pressure with that front four. That's how you're going to be able to slow down Ohio State in this game. If you can't get pressure with your front four, it could be a long damn night. Now, I will say this. I do think Miami defensively can get some stops. What worries me, though, is on the offensive side of the ball. And y'all know how I feel. I've never been high on Beck. I'm just not. I feel like you can get so much more play out of that position than what he gives you. You know what I'm saying? Last time out, credit him. He didn't turn over the football. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't gaudy. If you're going to beat a team like Ohio State, you have to have a quarterback that can go toe to toe. You got to have a quarterback that can make the reads and the throws. I don't always have that confidence in Beck. He's too inconsistent for me to have that confidence that he's going to be able to do that. And I know Ohio State is a very smart and cerebral defense, so they're going to gear up with Matt Patricia as their coordinator to stop Mark Fletcher. That's going to probably be numero uno. And okay, we're going to shut down Mark Fletcher, who ran for 172 against Texas A&M. And you know what? We're going to make Carson Beck beat us. And that's not a good thing if you're a Miami Hurricanes fan like myself, right? Because Beck hasn't shown that. In these big games, he's turned over the football. He hasn't done enough to kind of put his team over the top. That part worries me as a fan, because you're going to have to make throws, right? Sometimes you're going to have to be like, hey, we got to tip our cap to you, because what you was able to do. Now you have those players, you had the Malachi Tonys, the C.J. Daniels, and things like that to make those plays against that elite secondary. But you're gonna have to make them more consistent because you have guys coming down in that box like a Sonny Styles, like a Caleb Downs. It makes it tough for you to run the football. So you're gonna have to be able to hit on those one-on-one strikes when it's available. Because they're going to gear up to try to stop this run, and Beck's going to have to put the football in some tight windows for them to have a chance. So that's the part for me. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, that worries me. I feel like my defense can get some stops, keep us in the game, but will Beck be turnover centric in this game? Will he have 2-3 interceptions? Because if he does, it's going to be a long night. Ohio State going to whoop us. But if he can take care of the football, make the throws that we know that he can make, and be a little bit more consistent, then we can come out here and we can shock the world and beat Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But this is probably one of the best games of the quarterfinal round, in my humble opinion. This one and Texas Tech versus Oregon. Those two are like the best ones to me. This one's going to be dynamite, and it's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top for a chance to make the semifinals. Man, I can't wait. This is going to be the game that a lot of people get paid in. Whether that's at the next level, NFL, or whether that's coming back for another year and re-upping your contract. It's going to be very intriguing to see, man. Both teams, like I said, they've been performing at a high level so far this year. And Ohio State's trying to rebound after that loss. Obviously to Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do, and if they can force Miami to long yardage situations and make it tough for them. But I'm excited, man. Two really good teams, two stellar programs. But for Miami, this is a chance to kind of like, I don't want to say solidify that rebuild because they did win 10 games last year, but to show, okay, hey, like, we're a program. We have arrived. We are there. We are here. We're not going nowhere under Mario Cristobal, who led us to our first ever college football playoff victory. You want to do that? You want to go on a run? This is how you do it. And it's going to be interesting to see, how they match up against them, how they try to attack their defense, not giving up the big plays. It's going to be very intriguing to see, man. But y'all know me. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so I'm going with my Hurricanes in this one. Again, I respect Ohio State, but I love for my team to get back in this one, going against the Buckeyes and come out on top with a victory, man. So I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 24-20, man. I think they get the last second touchdown and walk off Ohio State for the victory, essentially. So I'm going with my Hurricanes for the